Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Fearless and Free TV. Today I have a message for you from Metatron. This actually came in a couple of weeks ago. It was on August 23rd. Actually, it's kind of a two-part message. Some of it came in on the 21st and some of it came in on the 23rd, and I'm blending the two for the purpose of this show. If you haven't yet, jump on over to my website at victoriareynolds.com and pick up your free gift. It's my book, Rise Up. It's all about what's happening in the world right now, and there's a whole chapter that's dedicated to terminology. So if you're new to the awakening and you don't know what a lot of the terminology is and you don't know what's going on, and this is a great way to get immersed into how to see what's happening in the world right now. It also puts you on my email list, and I send out a weekly or so. I say weekly or so because sometimes it's twice a week and sometimes it's 2 weeks. I'm trying to be more consistent and send it out once a week. But it's a newsletter I send out once a week with inspiration and then the different shows I've been doing and whatever spirit has me guided to teach you. I also have a program called the Transcendence Process. It's a class that I teach. It's a 9-week course. That course launches again on Monday. Today is Friday, September 10th. So on Monday, September 13th, I'm launching the next class. So you'll find information there on my website as well. And I have a program also called the 6D Money Tree. So that's for people who want to learn how to grow prosperity in the 6th dimension. And I'll do a show about the 6th dimension too, because it's, anyway, it's the realm where all things are created before they physically manifest. So, on to today's show. Now, it's been a while since I've shared with you a channeled message. I get them all the time, and I just need to remember to get on camera and share them with you. And this one, if I recall, was pretty important, so I'm going to read it to you. Some of the information in here is for all of you. Some of it was specific to me, but apparently I need to share it with you. I think part of it's about holding me accountable as well. So I'm going to read this message to you, and then afterwards I will probably have a few comments as well. So this message comes, as I mentioned, from Metatron. He is one of the guardians of planet Earth and the ascension process that we're presently in. And he's one of the lead guides for our planet. And I work with him once in a while when he has a message for me, but apparently I'm going to be working very closely with him over the next few months because he has a book that he's been edging me to write for about the last year, and I know it's time to get it started. So here is his message to all of you. Good morning, dear one, and all the dear ones who may be guided to this communication. We are the lead team for the ascension of Earth and her beings. We are Metatron, guardian of the light, the true light, the light of source for planet Earth. As are my brothers at my side, I am, if you will, a guard of God's army on Earth. I am a master planner and strategic coordinator. I am at your service, alongside Saint Germain, guardian of Earth's prosperity and advancement, and Yeshua, master teacher for planet Earth and guardian of the truth. Let us move now from the council chamber into the situation room. As you can see, this multi-layered and multifaceted game is so complex, most human minds cannot grasp the expansiveness of it. So I get invited into the council chamber sometimes when the council meets and we have conversations there. And then sometimes I get invited into what they call the spiritual situation room, which is what we might also call the war room. So I get to see what this game looks like that is being played out by the guardians and how it looks to them on it's like a multi-level, multi-layered screen that shows what's going on in the different layers of the game. So anyway, I'm going to get back to the message. Here we go. As you can see, this multi-layered and multifaceted game is so complex, most human minds cannot grasp the expansiveness of it. The closest thing they can come to is what you have seen in your movies. We are monitoring space, the skies, the firmament, the earth plane, the underworld, all at once. We lay the earth out flat and flatten the airspace around it to make it easier to see the layers. Earth is a sphere, yet looking at all the layers of the game is easier with flattened images, layer by layer in our multidimensional model. This allows us to see everything happening on Earth, not just on the surface. As you, we are navigating the cleanup of all layers and levels all at once. That is, as us, so we're doing our role as well as human beings. This is a massive cleanup job. When the scriptures speak of those who will not ascend, those numbers also include the beings who do not belong on Earth. This is not limited to humans. The legions of darkness make up a vast number of those who are not ascending. They are being removed as quickly as we can locate them and remove them. Our light force is on the ground rounding them up. You ask about the humans who are responsible for the harms against humanity and all life on Earth. Yes, they will be held accountable, some on the Earth plane and others through re-education and alignment with Source. You ask how much longer? The process is nearly complete. Many, yes many, have been purged from their posts and actors are acting out the roles on our behalf. We want humanity to see what they are being rescued from. The youngest generation, what many call the Alpha generation, will not be subject to the harms attempted to be propagated on them. Some will, but certainly not all. They are the new Earth children, already programmed with light programming. We can use this to program a new and better reality. The little children will not be infested and will be easily reprogrammed with the truth and healing of the fear-based narrative. Remember, we have technologies to wipe the slate clean. And remember, all of this is a facade, a surface game playing out as a reality. You ask how long you will need to put up with your family being terrorized on Terra. Yes, this is the name of the dark side has given Earth. Not much longer. Layers of truth are being exposed across all platforms, preparing humanity for the great reveal, as tearing open of the veil. We cannot give exact dates of all of it is play by play. The children will not be sacrificed to meet a dark agenda. Those children in the past who were sacrificed to the dark side, if you will, were allowed as the rollout of the end game. Remember, the Earth field is a contact sport, if you will. All souls who transitioned in were aware of the role they would be playing as the contrast became darker and lighter. Nothing exists on Earth that isn't allowed by Source as part of each soul's learning and evolution. This is not the same as God's will. God, Source, does not will the suffering of any being. However, it is allowed as part of the collective learning experience and the experience of learning through choice. Sometimes the only way to see the light is through the darkness. This is why the darkness has been allowed to continue. We have now been given permission by Source for full steam ahead, no holds barred, no play left hidden. The darkness is being dismantled, and humanity, all life on Earth, given the right and opportunity to participate in a whole new world where the contrast ceases to exist. This, of course, is not an overnight process, as we, in combination with the light leaders, deconstruct and wean humanity from the addiction to fear. They must first become so tired of their addiction that they want reprieve. We are allowing the dark agenda to play out while the relief structures are created in the physical realm. This is what the initial prosperity programs are for. This, so that as humanity is brought to their knees, they will have ways for reprieve, treatment, and rehabilitation. This is why now we have a team dedicated to unleashing money for humanitarian projects. It is akin to a drug addict needing a rehab center. They can try to kick the addiction when they hit rock bottom, but they will not succeed without the support system to help them find their way. Focus on creating support systems and not on the addiction. You ask what you can do to help alleviate the suffering as the rest of humanity wakes up to see how the game has been played. Yes, many will be transitioning off the planet, and that will be the great wake-up call. Many cannot and will not see the truth until it becomes obvious and transparent to see through the leadership. This is where each person will be given conscious choice, no longer living with hidden truths. All shadows and hidden stories are coming to the surface for revelation and resolution. The new world cannot take old baggage with it. You ask what you can do to help ease the great awakening that comes with the great suffering. You can ease the transition, assist with the transition by writing a book about New Earth systems. I gave you my cube as a roadmap for New Earth. Human beings need a guide. They need a path to follow and a map of the new world. That is what my cube is for. I will guide you with what to write. I am the lead architect for the new Earth. As you know, it has already been created energetically. You, humanity, need only manifest it physically. All the structures and supports already exist. It's simply a matter of repurposing the grid work and groundwork. I will show you how to repurpose and teach it to others. This is your role, your most immediate role. It will be a quick write as you tune in and I feed it to you. I will guide your words and pictures to show it forward, giving each lightworker a vision of the role they are here to play. What they need most is direction, for many have become directionless, blinded by the narrative that has them hyper-focused and staying in the dark. It is time to move beyond that and hyper-focus on solutions. Sit with me and I will teach it to you. So be it. So that was the message from Metatron, and yes, Yeshua and Saint Germain were there, although they didn't communicate in that, was primarily communication from Metatron, but they were there kind of in support of the message. So what he was showing me is that, and we've known this, I've known this for about the last year and a half, that the new world, New Earth, has already been created energetically. We as human beings are the creators of our reality. So many people seem to be waiting for someone else to take the lead, someone else to create the new world, someone else to be the leaders and the constructors, and when it's really us. So even though it's been created energetically through our visions and our actions, we create it. We, through us being who we are, take it out of the energetic realm and manifest it physically here. It's up to us to do it. So we're the creators of our new reality, and every single one of us need to, pick up our tools and be light workers, not just light sitters in the light. So this is about each of us picking a role in a system that we want to participate in, recognizing what needs to change and deciding how we want to play a role in creating the new systems. So what I was being shown about a year ago is what these systems look like. I can see them up here. The visions have been given to me. I just need to take them and put them on paper so that people can understand what it is that I'm being shown. I know I'm not the only person being shown this. By no means am I the only person being shown this, but I've been told that I need to write a book about it so that people can actually get the visual. Because one of the issues I've been hearing from people is, great, I want to get involved. I want to help create the new system, but where do I even start? What does it even look like? And so what I was being shown about a year and a half ago is that there is a 2030 plan. There's the 2030 New World Order agenda, and there's a 2030 New Earth plan. And on the surface, they look almost identical, but underneath the surface, so they're like mirror images of each other. But when you look beyond the surface image, you can see they're actually very, very different. So the 2030 agenda leads to a totalitarian, fear-based reality, and the 2030 plan leads to a new Earth, love-based, reality. And so it's really about understanding what, the 2030 agenda is super easy to find. It's on the United Nations website. It's also been completely listed, like down to the finest detail, on the World Economic Forum. It's not even hidden anymore. It's right out in plain sight for anybody who wants to look at it. However, the 2030 New Earth Plan doesn't seem to be written anywhere. And so that's what I started being shown about a year ago, is to write it out so that people can see the vision, where to put their energy, and how to start creating it. So all creation begins first with our imagination and our ability to envision. So right now we're only being shown the vision of this 2030 agenda. This plan, the New Earth Plan that the Guardians are creating and that we are intercreating, needs to be put in a format that is easy for people to understand. So what I was shown about a year ago is writing a book, and I might be teaching courses on it. I don't know. I just know right now it's a book that I'm supposed to write. So Metatron had me speak this out loud so that all of you will hold me accountable to writing this thing and sitting down and writing it and making the time to do it. So I'm also writing another book as well about, growing up in this polygamist cult that I grew up in. And I've got deadlines for that as well. So I'm trying to figure out how to navigate writing both of these books, which are two completely different kinds of books. And so I'm having all of you hold me accountable, light a fire under my butt in a sense, to get this channeled book from Metatron. It's actually a co-creation between Metatron, the Palladians, who have also built similar systems, and the Earth herself, who communicates with me and lets me know what she wants her children to know. So this is about, anyway, I'm just sharing that with you because this is about all of you holding me accountable to getting this book written. And so I can't, bail out on it and wait another year to get it done. So that's the message that came in from Metatron. As you can see, they, and I know that everybody knows this. We know that the game is already written out. We already know that the light wins. We already know that love wins out over fear. We already know there's a new earth love-based reality being created, and that we are the ones who are creating it. This is about shifting our focus off of all the suffering and off of all what we don't want to be happening on earth, to hyper-focusing on what it is we do want to be happening on earth. And yes, that stuff is going to continue playing out, and it's important to know what's playing out, but it's more important that we focus on the world that we want to create. And I know this is like preaching to the choir. I've said this before. We need to take our focus off of the world we don't want to create and shift our hyper focus on the world we want to create. So I'm going to get busy writing that book and making it available as soon as I'm finished writing it. So that is it for now. It's simply a matter of the play-by-play getting played out. And what I've seen, and again, there was another message that came from Yeshua a couple of days ago that I'll record for you, another one that came from the Father aspect of God. There's a mother aspect of God and a father aspect of God. Creation isn't just masculine. Actually, it's mostly feminine. But I won't get into that here. So that are basically saying the same thing, that what is going to look like it's getting darker, it really isn't. It's just the darkness being brought to the surface so that we can resolve it. And the darkness is being allowed to play out so that humanity can understand what's really going on, so that they become so tired of the game and so tired of the darkness and so tired of being afraid and like feel that, that burning of the heart to change it, that that's why the darkness is being allowed to play out. It has to play out to such a degree that people are so tired of it that they want to change it. And right now, it's still, this still looks too pretty for an awful lot of them, because, well, we know that the agenda, if you will, is still making the surface look like it's all okay. It's really, really scary, but and I won't get into that now because that's a whole nother video that I will do. But it has to get to the point where it looks so, well, it's just beyond the surface sphere of the virus that's going around right now, and that the darkness becomes so obvious that people are no longer willing to tolerate it. So it may look like it's getting much, much darker, when really what's happening is that's just the rest of the darkness coming to the surface. So that it's exposed for everyone, so that we can transmute it, and we can literally overthrow it with what we really want. So that's this process that we're in right now. Is we're in this transition process as we're transitioning out of the old world, and the old world becomes obvious and starts falling apart, and then we transition into creating a new world. So right now we're in that transition between the old and the new, and I think that's going to take a few years. So it's not like the old world's going to fall apart and boom, we're suddenly going to have, you know, a whole new world created. It's a process, and every single one of us need to be a part of the process. The more we get involved with the creation process, the easier the transition out of the old world will be. So I wanted to share that with you today. Stay loving. Stay focused on possibilities. Yes, it's okay to pay attention to what's happening out there. And remember that the more of us who stay loving and who stay focused on what's possible, the more we'll be able to help other people through that wake-up process when the rest of them start to wake up. And I don't think it's that far away, and it's going to be scarier than it's ever been for those who don't know what's really going on. And what's really going on is the rest of hell breaking loose from our human experience. So it's really important that those of us who know how to hold the loving for all of humanity, that's when the more of us who do, the more of humanity can move forward with us. We have to get out of division. And I'm going to do another show about that, because the division was created specifically to keep us from moving into the love-based reality. And I don't buy it. I refuse to invest my time and energy into it, because I know what it really is. And I'll do another episode on that. So that's it for now. Thank you all for being here, for being the love that you are, for being the light that you are, and for being the way shower that you are. Because you wouldn't be watching this if you weren't one of the way showers. With so much love and so much gratitude, I wish all of us well. I wish all of us love. I wish all of us freedom. And together we can create a new reality based in love and freedom. And as always, until next time, remember to get bold, be fearless, and live free. Mwah.